Hey y'all, today we are going to be doing some work on the back porch. We're going to be putting up some lines for my tomato plants to climb up, and we're going to be adding drip to the planted potted garden in the back porch. As always, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when my latest videos are up, and make sure you drop me a comment below. Do you prefer to hand water all your container plants, or do you have them set up on drip? Okay, so my tomato plants are doing really good over here. These are Cherokee tomatoes, getting really tall. And so now is the time to get them training upwards. These are indeterminate, so they keep growing taller and taller and taller. So you can see remnants from last year, but I'm going to install 2 additional hooks up here. I have 3 plants. I'm going to run a twine all the way up so that I can constantly just kind of gently wrap the the tomato vines as they grow, gently wrap them around it as they're going up, okay? I'm gonna do it on this side, 3 on this side, and then on this side of the patio, I have 2 going, and so those are gonna go up as well. These are black strawberry tomatoes. They're already putting on some really pretty stuff. Look at the coloring on that. Looks really good. I don't think these are getting as much sunlight over here, but still, I think they look really nice. So I'm going to get them going. I think if I get them trellis, that'll help some as well. So I'm going to be doing 2 lines all the way up on those. So let's get that knocked out, and then we will talk about drip to all of these potted plant area over here. Okay, so let me show you how this works. So I have hooks that have screws on the end of them into basically, I guess, the hardy board that's on the ceiling. Here's the package of what this looks like. This is what I'm working with. You should, obviously choose what works best for you, but basically it just has a hook on the end of it right there and a screw on the other side. So this works really good. So I've got those screwed in, and then basically I use a natural twine that I got from Dollar Tree, super inexpensive, and I hook it and I run it and I tie it underneath the planter like that. You can also just stake it right in to beside the other plant. I prefer this way just because I feel like it's more secure and the stake doesn't come loose with the wind. So next thing you can do is, I've got my guy right here, is you can actually take your plant, put it up against the twine. You can use more twine to try to, put it together. But basically this is it. And then you can start training your plant to grow up and around here. So it works really good. You can do it from the other side, whatever you want, whatever works best. But let's go ahead and get the other side where we have larger plants going. Looks like I'm gonna need to do a little bit of moving around. We'll show you the hydrangea and periwinkle gardens going beautifully, absolutely stunning. Look at these hydrangeas I have growing over here. Absolutely gorgeous, just gorgeous. I've got another bloom there. I've got some other blooms in some areas, but you can see everything's very healthy, lush, very happy. I've got some blooms coming in right there. Really happy with how well everything is doing over here. But let me see if I can squeeze myself in there. If not, I'm gonna have to move those big heavy containers to be able to get access to there. Let's get started. Okay, this side is done. I ended up running out of twine, so I used some of this plastic twine. I don't know if that's a good choice or not, you guys. It's a little sharp, so it could end up breaking some of the tomato vines. So that'll be a lesson learned. Anyway, you can see that I drilled holes into the top, inserted the screws, attached twine to come all the way down and go underneath that, and then I use these little clips to clip the tomato vines to the twine. These little clips are from the Dollar Tree, and they are worth every penny. It's usually a set of 10 or 12, I can't remember, that comes. It comes in two sizes. This is the small, and then over here is the large. Work really, really good. So I keep adding those as it continues to grow up the vine. These are looking really nice over here too. I don't have any fruit on these yet. It looks like I broke I do like to continue to take off the lower leaves of the tomato just to keep things healthy. Like that, so that there's no chance that they're getting like disease splash back up onto leaves or anything like that. So you can see I leave a lot of just stem at the bottom. Keep it all nice and clean. These are looking good. Haven't started producing any fruit. I feel like my pollinators are down this year. I don't know, we'll see as it continues going. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna be working on, and you probably saw my recent terracotta one, is we're gonna be running drips to all of these pots in the front and all of these pots right there. Now, I have an existing drip line that goes to each of these side gardens. So let me come over here. Okay, and you can see I've got an existing drip line right there. You see it, that black one right there? And I've already run drip off of it to my tomatoes, and I've already got a drip coming over here. So basically I'm gonna work off my existing drip. I'm gonna add onto here, and then I'm gonna run it linear across here so I can add drip to all of these containers. And I'll show you all the parts I need to do that. Okay, so let's talk about what we're gonna need. Since I already have existing drip installed and I'm gonna be working off of it, I got my 1/4 inch solid black tubing right here that I'm gonna need. I'm also going to need some splitters. And these are a splitter where you have one side of the tubing coming into this side, one side of the tubing coming into this side, and then you can run tubing off this bottom portion right here, okay? So it allows me one length, and then you can split off of it. So it splits off of it and allows me to add a piece of tubing right here and drop a dripper into a particular plant. And so the dripper, I like to use these in potted plants. They are adjustable. So they just screw left and right, and then that allows you to adjust the amount of water that is flowing into that particular plant. So, which is nice because I can run several off of the same line, right? And give my tomatoes a little bit more by opening it up, and then by closing it up, I can give my peppers less. So that allows me to fluctuate how much water they're each getting. And then the last thing I'm gonna need is a goof plug right here, and it is basically to go at the very end of the line to close up the line. So it is just like this. This little guy just pops in there. All right, so let me get this set up and then I'll show you what everything looks like. Okay, let me show you what's happening. So here was the existing line and it went straight through. I made a cut and I put a splitter in and I ran one long piece of black tubing all the way down. Then every so often I put in an additional splitter, and that additional splitter will allow me to add more poly tubing and run it to each pot. So you can see a splitter every so often. I've got 6 of them because I've got 6 plants, and those will allow me to run additional tubing off of them directly to each plant. Then at the very end of my line, I gave myself some extra line just in case I end up having an additional potted plant over here, and I put a goof plug on the end so that the water cannot leak out. All right, so now I'm gonna run the lines, each individual lines to each of the pots, and then I'll show you what that looks like as well. Okay, so each splitter now has a line run off of it and an adjustable drip on each one. So you can see that on each one, each splitter has it. So now I'm gonna turn my drip on, and then I'm gonna adjust the little sprayer, the little drip, to the amount of water that each container needs, and go ahead and use some landscape staples to pin it in place. Okay, so here's my little guy. And so basically it allows me to righty-tighty close it up, or lefty-loosey let it all come out, okay? Since this is a pepper plant, I don't want it to go too crazy, so I just want a subtle drip, and I'm going to pin it here at the base of the plant. Not right at it, but about a couple of inches from it, all right? And I'll do that for every single one. Okay, so now we are all set up, looking good. Got the drip running to each one, which is great. You can definitely tuck in the cords, hide them a bit better, or you can run the whole drip from behind where you don't see any of it. I went for easier access because I do move these plants around based on what's out of season and such. So now this entire side, the rose, the 6 terracotta planters, the tomatoes in the back, the periwinkles and hydrangeas, all of these are set up on drip. So I don't have to stress about watering these at all. They get watered every other day for about 10 to 15 minutes, and that gets adjusted as the summer goes on. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial about how I trellis my tomatoes and how I added drip line to my planter garden. As always, she's a mad gardener or decorator or anything that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.